When discussing quantum physics and arguing if the universe was random, Einstein stated, God does not play dice with the universe. He said, science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. The night before he was assassinated, Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King said, I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight, we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. You see, Joseph Campbell stated, every religion is true in one way or another. It is true when understood metaphorically. God is a metaphor for which transcends all levels of intellectual thought. You see, when it comes to God, there is one fact that no one can argue. And that fact is, since the beginning of human existence, since the beginning of recorded history, human beings have been seeking, searching for the gods or the God. There was an awareness that there was something other than our existence here, and there was something greater that was governing our existence, something greater than ourselves. This is undeniable. Why is this? What is this yearning that was happening on every culture with every population on earth at one time or another? What is this compelling energy for the search for God? You see, I've been asked a lot, do I believe in God? What religion am I? Today, I would like to share with you my thoughts about that. So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears, fully alive again after a piece of years.
There's an ancient African proverb that states God has created lands with lakes and rivers for man to live, and the desert so that he can find his soul. Ponder that for the moment. That the hard times that we go through are to shed light on our spiritual existence. The pain and suffering that we go through in life has a purpose. For me, and I believe for most, the suffering of narcissistic abuse is not only there to introduce you to your childhood wounds and the things that have been taking place in your life that have damaged you emotionally, psychologically, but it is a gateway to discovering our spiritual life, to building a better relationship with God. If there is evil, then there is something that is the polar opposite of evil. That is goodness. That is love. That is God. We have a right hand, a left hand. We have up. We have down. We have east. We have west. We have north. We have south. everything in this universe has a polar opposite. We know, unless you're in great denial or full of intellectual clutter from the world of psychology, you know you experienced evil. If you shut down the noise and you think about the physical changes that you saw in the eyes and in the face, in the very essence of the person that was abusing you, if you were in a true relationship with a narcissist, again, this world of psychology has created so much intellectual clutter. The reality of what a narcissist is so convoluted with irrelevant information that many people misconstrue what a real narcissist, sociopath, psychopath is. I believe, and it's been my profound experience, that they're all rolled up into one. For those of us who have really experienced this, if we don't kid ourselves or run away from our experience, it is easy to see that there was a dark energy there, or that there is a dark energy there, that evil is real. This is one of the most debilitating aspects of narcissistic abuse. It alters your sense of reality. There's a purpose in this, and I believe that purpose is to connect with God. I've spent most of my life as an atheist, as a person that didn't believe in God. I think I stopped believing in God like when I was in my early 20s. I became too sophisticated, too cool, too free to believe in God. Most of my life I was raised as a Christian. Some of my most fond memories was going to church with my grandma Clark and laying my head on her lap while people were singing and testifying in church. It was one of the times that I felt the safest in my life. And my grandmother was a very religious woman. But being raised by a narcissist mother and surrounded by narcissists starts to whittle away your belief in God. And then married to an atheist for 23 years, I became my own God. I worshiped myself. I worshiped my intellect. But when I discovered the truth, the reality of the world that we live in, and the monsters that are in it, it changed everything. First, it flattened me. It almost ended my existence. I found myself all alone. But I was never alone and never will be alone because of God. Now, moving from an atheist into being agnostic and then becoming a believer is a formidable journey, at least it was for me, because it's an inner battle. Now I sit before you and I don't really know what or who God really is. I consider myself to be a born-again Christian, but I'm not a very good one because I don't believe in all of the dogma of religion, of any religion. But I believe in the wisdom of all religions. I believe that Christianity has the most profound and the most tangible pieces of religion that is conducive with creating cultures and families and environments that are healthy, that are loving, that are productive and safe for all people. That's my opinion. It doesn't negate any other religion. And Christianity can be just as bad, just as destructive as any religion on earth, because there are narcissists in all religions on earth, and they have been there since the scriptures and the doctrine was created. I remember hearing a tale about a Catholic priest who, in the early 1800s, was giving a sermon every Sunday. And there was a Native American and an African slave that used to sit on the porch of the church and want to come inside. And the priest said, "Hey, I will preach to you out back after everyone's gone. I cannot let you into this church. I can't do it." And the African and the Native American man said, "Please, we want to experience what it's like with everyone in worship. Can we please go into the church?" And the priest was adamant. He said, "No, you may not." And he shut the church door. And these two men sat there in utter agony and sadness. And then they heard a voice call down from the sky that said, "Hey, you two, don't feel bad. I've been trying to get into that church for years and I can't get in there either." And this was the voice of God. Our religions are only as good as we are. That means that there are things that are fallible, that aren't correct. I am not the one, or nor do I have the knowledge or the research to state who is this and who is true and who is better and who is right and who understands and has the right God. All that I can do is go off of what fits for me and to respect those around me. But my greatest gift that I received from narcissism abuse that changed everything was understanding unequivocally that there is a God and that there is nothing to fear, as the late great Martin Luther King said. Most of the rhetoric online about narcissism is created by narcissists, and they put them as the ultimate, almighty, powerful ones. And they negate and tear down the qualities that we should have as God-fearing people and as images of God as men and women. They tear this down in one way or another, and it's insidious. And it's people who you would not believe are narcissists.
Oh my God! Oh,
it's not my job, rather, to call these people out as long as they're doing good to a certain degree. They're doing more good than harm for the immediate thirst to help mollify the pain of narcissism. But when they cross a certain line, we have to speak truth. See, most people don't believe in God because it's a fairy tale. Like, people laugh. I've heard people laugh and say, "Oh, there's some fairy tale in the sky that's watching all of us. Some miracle. How is that possible? That's ridiculous. You have to be puerile to believe that. You have to be a kid to believe that someone's watching you or hearing you and knows what you need and who you are." Okay. In Genesis 1:27, it states, "So God created man in his own image, and in an image of God created he him, and female created he them." The point here is that he created us in his own image. So we are God-like as human beings. That's easy to see all over the planet. We control all the animals. We can end the world with nuclear weapons. we fly, the technology, it would be hard to argue that we are not in the image of God, that our capabilities are unbound, but we are not God. Now, here's the point that I'm trying to take home with the little fairy tale person in the sky watching all of us. Is it not possible right now for people to watch us and know what we're doing? This thing called the internet? Can people watch millions, billions of people's every move to determine what their needs are and what they like and what they don't like and what to sell to them? And if they're good people or bad people by their behavior. Are they on porn sites more? Are they looking at child pornography? Are they planning a murder? There are things that human beings are capable of right now that mimic God. And people deny it because that's the inner battle. I see myself as a God and as the almighty intellectual being because I was created in the image of God. And if I listen to the talking heads in this world that are full of intellectual clutter, I will miss the opportunity to really connect with and experience God. Now, this is my opinions and my belief and my experience. If you can tell me any different, my mind is open. But I tell you what, and anybody that knows me knows I was an adamant atheist and or agnostic most of my life. I now consider myself to be a born-again Christian. I'm a bad boy Christian. I'm a maverick Christian. I don't walk the way that most Christians should. And I'm trying to be a better man. But I have my flaws. I'm not a God. I'm not a God. I ask God to lead me. But my intellectual clutter comes in the way. At times, I'm not going to be perfect. Never will you find me as a perfect Christian. It will never happen. But it doesn't mean that I'm not a believer. And it doesn't mean that I don't respect and or believe in all of the religions on earth. And there's the maverick Christian in me. And some people will tell me I'm not a Christian because of that. And that's perfectly fine. We all have our protocol and the things that we adhere to across the globe. I respect your opinion. But one thing we are all seeking is a closer relationship with God. And I promise you, if you slow down and you examine the shit that has happened to you during your journey with narcissistic abuse, you will find that it was revealing that evil is real, that Luciferian agents of chaos exist here on earth. And the good news is that they're not bigger than you. That's why I call them ass clowns, because that's what they are. And when you walk in the image with God, the God of your belief, you have no fear. You don't give about these ridiculous evil monsters. They are vulgar in every sense of the word. You learn to go up, over, around, or through them in the best way possible for your journey in life. So I hope you understand the takeaway today is that search and you will find the things in the relationship with God that you need. Yes, I'm preaching, but I just personally don't understand how anyone can experience the true essence of evil and not understand that there's a polar opposite of that. And then studying human existence, the yearning to connect with whatever that light is, and that positive, loving, kind energy that exists in the universe too. Evil and goodness. Evil and love. They are polar opposites that we exist in. So I hope this made some sense to you today, and you walk away feeling more inspired and more connected and more secure and calm in your healing journey. And I've got nothing but love for you guys. I deeply appreciate each and every single one of you. And please, if you got some value out of today's show, please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed the journey. And share your comments, thoughts, and suggestions. I deeply appreciate when you do that. And I believe so do others. All right, you guys. Until next time, God bless. Peace. Be well.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after 3 years.